Oh, I love the ship so much. Love the ship so much.
Yes, I was watching Nemo, if you heard his voice there. So, the festivities will start in 5 minutes. Hey folks, I see some people are already watching. I think Nemo's about to come over, I've been watching him. And then we'll get started in just 3 minutes. Hello! Hello everyone, how's it going? Hello Nemonauts. I may have been listening to Nemo with this computer, so the very beginning of this stream recording is going to have Nemo's voice. More fights! Yes, today is going to be 8 fights. We have a... Wait, no, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 fights today. Oh no! Not the Hegemony Inspection Fleet. Hi, Sterling! So this is the 7th fleet building tournament. Players have sent in their ships, and they're going to fight each other. And this is round 3, so this is the first of the lower bracket. Let me see. Boats and more gunboats? Oh no! I don't know. Could I fit an AI core, an AR core in my house? I doubt it. Hey, Nemo's here. Hey, Nemo. All right, so it is 2 p.m. my time, 9 p.m. UTC. So it is time to start the next round of the tournament. Let me get rid of that text. So let's see. Jester Bro says, what are the fleet limits? So I'll explain the rules for those who haven't seen previous rounds. Players submit their fleets. The rules for this tournament is base game plus ship and weapon pack, so very few mods, 150 deployment points on each side, maximum of 15 ships, and a maximum of 7 modular fighter wings. So there's some anti-spam restrictions on this tournament. But it is time to get started. So our first fight of the day is the Wikifish versus Randomness Inc. Now, fleets have been allowed to be changed. Players submitted variants at the beginning of this whole deal, and they were allowed to change variants freely. So let's take a look at Wikifish's fleet. Okay, so Wikifish has a longbow Astral. So longbow, super heavy carrier with tons of sabot launching fighters. So this is going to be able to fire off 12 sabots per burst. It has locusts with expanded missile racks, single ion beam, and ECCM package. Next we have some Buffalo Mark IIs, Q-class destroyers with Typhoon Reaper, ion cannon, sabots, and missiles. Oh, and a railgun on the side. Next up is the Beagle Eagle cruiser with 3 gravitons, a heavy autocannon, a heavy machine gun, and a hypervelocity driver. So this is very interesting. This is three different range brackets. So this is going to be able to poke enemies at very long range with the HVD, medium range, higher DPS with a heavy autocannon, and then close range, very high DPS and very high efficiency with the heavy machine gun. So we have one of those. Next up is a monitor with its built-in flat cannons, single contender cannon, accelerated shields, auxiliary thrusters. So this will leave a 60-degree hole in the back of the shield arc. We have the Rip Lasher frigate with 2 Reapers, a contender, a light dual machine gun, 2 single machine guns, and a Vulcan, hardened shields, flux coil adjunct, and auxiliary thrusters. So this actually has very high flux and very good shields for a Lasher. So this is actually going to be unusually tough as long as it can keep its engines away from the enemy. We have some Castle-class Punisher cruisers with heavy mauler, heavy autocannon, and 2 proximity charge launchers, and it's ringed in Reliant HMGs. So, and ITU auxiliary thrusters. Alright, so we got HE, we got kinetic, we have anti-fighter missiles, and we have a ring of point defense. 2 of those. Another Rip, another hamster. We have an annoyance frigate with salamanders and graviton beams, and the ECM package to help support the fleet. Some more Rips, 3 more Rips, and the mascot shuttle with 2 Reapers and a Reliant HMG. And facing them is Randomness Inc. Oh, I see Doom and Tempests. So we have the Strike Doom with 2 Typhoon torpedo launchers, 4 antimatter blasters, 2 heavy blasters, and 4 burst PD lasers, and an ITU. So this Doom is built to just punish any enemy that it can ambush, and it has that built-in mind strike, so it's going to be able to do a lot of damage. Yes, it does have low flux capacity for Doom, so it'll only be able to stay in phase for a limited amount of time. Alright, next up we have Tempest attack frigates with Pulse Laser, Ion Beam, and Reaper, hardened subsystems, stabilized shields, and flux distributor. So this has kiting with the Ion Beam to lock down ships, a Pulse Laser for hard flux damage, and a Reaper torpedo. That's just if it has the opportunity, it can do a lot of sudden armor damage. Alright, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 of them. So that brings this fleet right up to the 15 ship limit. Alright. I am just going to hit reset real quick so that I haven't messed with any variants by accident, and then we're going to run the fight. So we have Wikifish versus Randomness Inc. I didn't unpause. I was like, where's the ships? Where are the ships coming from? Alright, so from below, we have the Astral in the center, flanked by Buffalo Mark IIs. Some Punishers, the Eagle. Cool, the ship is falling into formation with the skirmishers coming ahead, carrier falling behind. On the other side, we have a swarm of Tempests and the Doom coming up behind. Now here is this. Oh, thank you for that. I was on the motion sick camera. So I am so zoomed out because this is the tournament mod with special coding by Tartiflat. Now, we have the Tempest closing in. Oh, but there's 6 longbows. 6 longbows are targeting them. Is it going to be able to back off enough, or is it going to get shotgunned? It looks like it backed off. How's the rest of the flight going? We have a swarm of... Oh! Lasher's got a kill with the Reaper torpedo over there. That is a Punisher down. Another Lasher just getting overwhelmed by the Tempest. Tempests are high-performance frigates. While they have good shields, it looks like they're completely locked down by the ion cannons. Ooh. This is very fast and very brutal. These mines in that unshielded back section have a very large radius. Another Vigilance down. It looks like these Tempests are just steamrolling this fleet. This is not looking great so far. Ooh, that monitor is just doing its best, but with 6 Tempests firing at the monitor at the same time, it's just not going well. Now that mine's not going to do much. Ooh, antimatter blasters pop the monitor. Now this Astral's not long for this world, is completely surrounded. The Doom has strike weapons. It keeps raising its shields, but it also gets fluxed out and then has to drop them again. And its rear is just getting pummeled. Pummeled by these Tempests. Let's see, Buffalo Mark II killed somewhere else on the battlefield. The Astral is down. It looks like the Eagle is the last ship standing. Oh, and a Reaper. The Reaper from the Tempest finished it. Ooh, well that was a fast, brutal fight. Not much of this fleet could do against sheer Tempest spam. Alright, moving on to the next fight. We have Dauntless versus Soldat. So, let's take a look at Dauntless's fleet. We have the Salvation class battlecruiser, an asymmetric design with point defense and Devastator on the right-hand side with a pulse laser, 2 Locusts up front for anti-fighter missile and anti-frigate missile, Phase Lance for swatting annoying frigates and fighters, Storm Kneeler for close-range, high DPS, couple Flaks for defense, and a Hellbore for slow but powerful anti-armor. Backing it up, a pair of Sabos for shield overloads, ITU, and Flux Distributor, and all ringed in LRPD. Second, we have a Heron, with a Cobra Reaper Bomber, Kopesh Rocket Bomber, and Broadsword Heavy Fighter to clear the way. And these have a Graviton for warding enemies off, and some caps, some vents, and an ITU. Another one of these strike carriers. Now the Blue Fire Destroyer. This destroyer, oh, interesting, it has no ballistics, it has no point defense at all, but it has maxed flux stats with a flux coil adjunct, and it has expanded magazines on top of 2 ion pulsars and an autopulse laser. So this ship is designed to just dump a huge amount of firepower all at once. It's going to be able to dump 45 autopulse charges at 150 damage each. Wow. So, if this ship gets in range and and unloads on a ship, it could really, really mess something up. Let's see, we have 2 of those, and then we have the Defiant class Hammerhead. These Defiants have 2 Arbalists, 2 Reapers, 2 light dual autocannons, and 2 ion cannons with ITU and gunnery control AI. So a strong mixture of kinetic firepower, moderate range kinetic firepower, ions for the disable, and Reapers for the kill. 1, 2, 3, 4 of those Hammerheads. We have the Hope class Wolf with an ion beam and advanced optics, so it's going to be able to kite the enemy at 1200 range, 2 harpoons for missile support, and 2 LRPD lasers for point defense, with lots of vents but no caps. And finally, the Dauntless combat freighter Hound class, with insulated engine assembly, heavy armor to keep it alive for longer, an arbalist, and a contender. This is going to be very fast with the unstable injector on a Hound. Much of this fleet is similar to last time. Someone said, I swear I've seen this fleet before. But there are some changes. Up against them is Soldat. Soldat has BSD class Sunders, 1, 2, 3, 4 of them, with graviton beams, high intensity laser, atropos, and point defense. With advanced optics and ITU, this is an exceptionally long-range destroyer. Next up, we have some SO Hammerheads, Hamzite destroyers, with assault chain guns, light dual machine guns, and hammer torpedoes. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 of those. Next up is a Kronos battle cruiser, featuring a time acceleration system. This battlecruiser can unload a lot of firepower in a very short amount of real time. Up front is a plasma cannon for high DPS, some burst PD for defense, another heavy burst and LRPDs in the back, some gravitons for shield support, and an ion cannon for that sweet lockdown, backed up by Sabo pods for shield bursting, and with an ITU and shield conversion front to give the ship 360-degree shields. We have this is the first Heron in this fleet. This is Cobra, Broadsword, Thunder. So it has ion damage, kinetic damage, and strong HE if that fighter gets there. It has a heavy needler to ward the enemy off and raise their shields, a poking tactical laser, and a string of PD all around. And finally, the Bugster frigate, Alaster class, with 2 railguns, an ion cannon, harpoons for support. Alright, enough looking at variants, let's see the flight. The flight? I guess they are flying, aren't they? The fight. Dauntless versus Soldat. Let me get the camera right from the start this time. There we go. So, coming from the south on green team, we have the destroyers running ahead, with the Conquest in the middle, and the carriers are falling in line behind the battle fleet. From the north, on red team, we have the SO Hammerheads being the fastest ships leading the way. One of them is charging ahead, and that has been a theme from the attacking fleet. Sunders coming up, and then the Kronos behind with the carrier. Let's see. These Sunders are out front. Are they going to unload? There they go. Oh, they're not. Interesting. They're not really firing that much. It looks like they're fluxing themselves up a bit too much because they're under fire from that graviton beam. Those 2 graviton beams really raise shields. Ooh, capital on capital. The Storm Needler is firing. Ooh, the plasma cannon got past the shields, and the plasma cannon disabled the Hellbore. So already we have the Conquest is half crippled on that side. High-intensity lasers from the Sunder are forcing the Conquest to keep its shields in that direction, but so far not enough flux to get through. Oh, except for that shield, that vent. Ooh, these 2 Sunders are focusing a Hammerhead. The Hammerhead just does not have enough flux dissipation to keep up with that mass beams. On this side, however, we have one of these Arbalists and Ion destroyers has locked down the enemy, and it is spinning away. Unfortunately, reinforcements have come and stopped any kills. On this side, the Kronos has chased down and killed a Sunder. 3 destroyers going up against the Conquest. The Storm Needler is raising the flux quickly. Sabos didn't get the overload. Oh, here comes a Reaper. Is it going to be dodged? Oh, it bounced off! Oh, just at the extreme end of the range. Very lucky Hammerhead. That Reaper would have been the kill. Let's see, the Kronos down here is chasing a wolf. Up here, the Conquest is successfully pushing back the enemy. Stormleader raising flux. Ooh, but those long-range beams did get another hit in. Now this ship is flanked by these deadly hill sunders, and it doesn't have a wide enough shield to block them all. So you can see it took heavy armor damage to that quadrant and has been forced to retreat. Ooh, and it's turning its shields. Oh, its poor shield control. It turned its shields to the Kronos and got exposed to two hills at the same time. I think the Sunders are going to kill this Conquest. Yes, the Sunders are just... They're at too wide an angle. It couldn't stop them. Conquest down. Kronos gets the kill. I think that is probably it for this fleet. Yes, there's very little left. Well, let's see how it ends. So those Sunders, proving their worth when they are given the chance to stand off, they're extremely powerful. Oh, victory down here. And what's left? We have a carrier. Ooh, Hammerhead got a victory up here. This carrier is just going to be swarmed and killed. But there are 3 destroyers. This might be a fight. Let's watch this. Kronos is still up, but we've seen the vulnerability the capitals have to being swarmed. There's that Cobra, but not enough shield damage before the hit. Almost enough, but not quite. Alastair was killed. This Sunder is raising the flux of the Hammerhead, but there go those kinetics. Those kinetics are going to punish that Sunder. Once these close in, yep, there are the ion cannons. The ion cannons haven't disabled any engines yet, but they've knocked out the main guns. Over here, the Heron has managed to keep kiting. It hasn't died yet. On this side, the Hammerhead is desperately trying to close with the Sunder before it gets fluxed up, but so far to no avail. These ships are performing well. These green team destroyers, they're doing their jobs, and it's winning this duel here. But unfortunately, they're just outnumbered, and the loss of the Conquest so early to those flanking Sunders. Oh, there goes those Sunders again. These beam Sunders really are MVP of this fleet. They are truly deadly. On this side, the Heron and the Wolf are still kiting. They're probably going to retreat to the map edge. Ooh, there's going to be another kill over here. Yes, this Hammerhead and Sunder have been dueling for a long time, but now that there's 3 of them, it is no contest. All right. Heron on Heron duel with a Kronos coming up. Yes, so this Heron is doomed. It's fighting its hardest, but it really it's too outnumbered at this point. Its flux is high. Oh, that's the overload from the Cobra. The Kronos charges in. It's in beam range. Another Cobra. Oh, and that's a kill. That Cobra, boosted by the Heron system, is a massive amount of damage. So, a solid victory for Soldat, with some losses, but those Sunders and Kronos reign supreme. Next up, we have NullpointerException versus TrueNuts. NullpointerException is using high-tech best tech, which in past rounds it was pure Apogee, but it has been changed. So let's take a look at the changes. Let me just quick do a reset just in case I've screwed something up. Alright, so anchoring this fleet is an Astral. Strike Astral set up with 2 longbows, 4 daggers, a point defense ring, and Squall Locust combo with expanded missile racks and expanded deck crew. We have some support Apogees, the same as before, with high intensity laser and Squall and Sabo combo with stabilized shields, ITU, and expanded missile racks. These should be able to hold the line quite well, they're very tanky. And Omens, support Omens, with Sabo, 2 burst PD lasers, hardened shields, hardened subsystems, and a nav relay. With the built-in ECM package, this is going to give both minus 2% to enemy range and plus 2% to same side speed. A nice support ship. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, the different variant, we have the attack frigate. The attack frigate with Sabos, 2 IR pulses, hardened shields, hardened subsystems, and expanded missile racks. And 7 vents to keep up with the flux from those IR pulses. But no caps on either, well, 1 cap on this variant, no caps on this variant. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 omens of the attack variety. So, in total, Astral, 3 Apogees, and a lot of omens. Facing them is True Nuts. True Nuts with the flexing Mudskipper Mark II with a Gauss cannon and extreme modifications on top of ill-advised modifications. Well, for as long as it lives, it'll give 1320 range fire support. And we have the Whippin' Victory. This is a point defense focused victory with a lot of flak cannons, mining lasers in a ring, the built-in high explosive damage, and some Mjolnir cannons. Hardened subsystems, gunnery control, ITU, IPDAI, auxiliary thrusters to keep this forward-facing shield ship pointed at the enemy, and advanced turret gyros. We have Patty-class vultures with a mining laser, some point defense lasers, HVDs for that long-range kinetic damage, heavy burst laser for more point defense, and 2 harpoons for the kill, with gunnery control AI, expanded missile racks, and hardened subsystems. Interesting. No caps or vents. We have 2 of these. We have a destroyer, an Archer-class kicker destroyer, with 2 Tornado Hornet launchers with a super deep ammo pool of 40 times 2 for 80 each, Sabo pods for the overload, and point defense, hardened subsystems, missile boosters, IPDAI, and advanced turret gyros. 2 of those. We have the Litter-class Albatross destroyer with its built-in flak drone fighters, 2 assault chain guns. If anything gets close, they'll really get chewed up. 2 Reaper torpedoes, ITU, gunnery control AI, and hardened subsystems. 1, 2, 3, 4 of these albatrosses, and 1 Manure-class Elaster frigate, with 2 railguns, 3 PD lasers, and a Reaper for that damage spike. Hardened subsystems, gunnery control AI, IPDAI, and integrated targeting unit. So this fleet has a ton of flak and point defense. We will see how Astral, High-Tech, and Omens does against Low-Tech and Mid-Tech point defense. Let's fight NullpointerException versus True Nuts. Coming from below, immediately the Omens charge ahead, while these slow Apogees and the Astral bring up the rear. Coming from the north, we have Victory taking its time, and then a solid arc of battle, anchored by the Flexor ship, charging ahead to meet its victory. Certainly, the Omens can't damage this ship. Missiles have been fired, but the ship system is taking care of it. Ooh, Sabo Barrage really did raise the flux, and there's the overload, and there's the kill. So we have an Omen down almost immediately to missile spam. However, the 2 Omens are now pressuring, and they flamed out this Archer. The long-range missile support is going to keep this Archer's shields high, but there's nothing really nearby to really capitalize. Oh, the Omen's very high on flux, but the point defense from the Omens and... Ooh! Fighter Barrage gets some shots in. And... EMP? EMP! EMP flames out the ship. It is now easy prey for these long-range squalls. Now the Victory is in range. The Victory is tangling with this support Apogee. As long as they can keep its nose pointed, I think it's actually mainly immune. Oh, but are we going to see another high-intensity laser flank? Yes, there we go. So just like last battle, narrow shields can't stop the high-intensity laser. Meanwhile, this victory just doesn't have enough kinetic damage to get through the heavy, heavy shields of these Apogees. So the victory's only at a third flux. But, so we'll see. We'll see how it does. If this Apogee turns sideways to face, it could be in serious trouble. Here comes another fighter strike. 4 Sabos leading the way, followed by an entire squadron of daggers. Oh, one made it through! Really shocking that one made it through. Alright, this Apogee managed to vent safely. Let's look at the rest of the fight. I haven't seen much kill. Oh no, the Mud Skipper! The Mud Skipper has died. On this side, another pair of Omens has killed an archer. Let's see, some kiting over here. Ooh, Albatross goes down. Oh, and this third Apogee is coming in from the flank. Oh, and here are the Omens. The victory has lost its engines. It's been flanked by a high-intensity laser. This is not looking good. It's completely shut down. It is nothing more than a floating hulk now. Ooh, overload. Overload, and the Astral for the kill. The victory was doing pretty well against the Apogees, but it just didn't have enough kinetic to defeat their shields, and then once they got the flank, that narrow shield just couldn't get the job done. So far, high-intensity laser has been showing its worth. Truly a devastating weapon. This fight looks like it's wrapping up. These swarming Omens are just too much for the shield systems of these ships to handle. Those EMP arcs do actually do decent damage to shields. And let's see, what's left? I think just this Albatross and this Vulture. Yes, that's it. This fight is basically over, folks. The support Apogees doing their job. The Squalls destroying shields with a high-intensity laser melting hull. And that is it. A very brutal victory with just a pair of Omen losses. Those high-intensity lasers, my goodness. Everyone take a drink. All right. Next fight is Lightning JC versus Hrothgar. Lightning JC with the Knights of Lud Inquisitors. So, starting with a Glory to Lud shuttle with Reaper torpedoes. I'd hate to have that come up behind my shields. Next is the QD class Legion. Let's see, this has 3 broadswords to bring down shields and 1 perdition ring to sink in those bomber strikes. 2 Gauss cannons for super long range fire support. 2 heavy maulers in order to capitalize once the shields are down. And 3 harpoons for those quick kills, with ITU, expanded deck crew, and 50 vents. We have the suppression class Mora. So we have the Mirror. Only 1 broadsword for breaking down shields, but 2 perdition wings. And this has Annihilator rockets. That's an interesting choice. It'll have to get close to use them, but then again, it can bring a lot of HE flux-free firepower, 2 railguns for kinetic, and a little bit of point defense in front. We have the Luddic Might Vindicator with its built-in super long-range Gungnir cannon that splits into multiple HE warheads. Rounds. Multiple HE rounds. 2 Salamanders to stop the enemy's engines, 2 HVDs for long-range kinetic, and a ring of point defense and a Locust for anti-fighter, with 30 vents, 23 caps, and a built-in targeting core. Next up, we have the Evangelical. I see we're sticking with the Lud theme. Evangelical class Punisher cruiser with 2 heavy autocannons for kinetic, 1 heavy mortar for HE, 2 light assault guns, and some point defense. Oh, and safety overrides. This is an interesting choice to be using these longer range guns with safety overrides, because their range will be heavily curtailed. I would have expected HMGs and the assault chain gun, but we'll see how this Punisher does. Next up, we have a Standoff Enforcer, and it's standoff indeed with long-range guns. 2 HVDs and a heavy mauler with ITU will give it 1200 range. We have a pair of Annihilator rockets for a little bit of HE firepower, some dual flaks for strong point defense, and max defense and some capacitors. And armored weapon mounts. We have Lashing class Lasher Luddic Church frigate with its beautiful green paint job. 2 Vulcans for point defense, light dual autocannon for kinetic, and 2 light assault guns for HE, and some sabos for the overload. Interesting, this has reinforced bulkheads, which is going to make it last just a little bit longer in combat. And it has max defense and nearly max caps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of those. So, Legion, Mora, Vindicator, some long-range enforcers, and then a lot of lashers. Up against the Waffle Fleet of Hrothgar. Gal Paladin says, Thago, wait! I missed the SO lashers. Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you very much. The last 3 lashers are different. Sorry about that, everyone. Oh yeah, so here we have this Safety Overrides Hardened Subsystems lashers with light assault guns, hammer torpedoes, and light machine guns. These are going to be extremely fast, 170 top speed, plus the always-on 50 zero flux bonus, and the accelerated ammo feeder. If this gets up on something, it could really tear them apart with kinetic fire. So, 3 of these SO lashers, and 3 of the standard lashers. They are up against the Waffle Fleet by Hrothgar. Anchoring the Waffle Fleet is Prometheus Mark II tanker, the capital converted tanker, with a Mark IX autocannon, a Hellbore cannon, and a Squall for its main guns, ringed in PD with some flaks. For fighters, it has Kopesh rocket bomber and a Warthog assault fighter. I will reset, thank you very much. With an ITU and front shield conversion gives this ship 360-degree shields. Cool. We have Vultures, attack Vultures, with ITU, 2 heavy maulers, 2 sabo pods for the overloads, and a heavy ion blaster for the intense quick disables. Nearly maxed caps and nearly maxed vents and some caps. 1, 2, 3, 4 of these Vultures. We have a Archer. Let's see, the Archer has a heavy mauler for long-ranged HE damage and 3 harpoons to get those finisher kills. With both of the missile support packages, max vents and caps, it should be able to lay down a lot of missiles to punish any overloaded enemy ship. Now we have a Drover, Strike-class Drover, with the broadswords to batter down shields and the daggers for the finish. This also features a lot of HE missiles. Again, if anything overloads near this ship, it's probably going to get shot down. We have 2 of these, and some Hecates. Hecates are ship and weapon pack fast frigate, and they have 2 tactical lasers for long-range poking, and 2 Hornets backed up by expanded missile racks. So between the 2 of them, that is 32 Hornets each. And 1, 2, 3, 4 of these close support fast Hecate frigates. Alright, so let us see how Lightning JC does versus Hrothgar. Coming up from below is low-tech, Luddic-themed, with some SO, some long-range support. It's truly a mixed fleet. On the other side, we have Vultures. Vultures with their built-in fighter wings, 2 Drovers, and the Prometheus Mark II. Certainly not filled with antimatter. Let's see, this time it's the south side that has sent forward a lone scout. Ooh, there's a lot of Hornets coming in. But it's actually doing very well. This is an SO ship. Its point defense seems to be handling all those Hornets and just making them waste their ammo. We have long-range exchanges starting to happen. So here's this Punisher with its autocannons and heavy mortar fighting a Vulture. It's doing really well, but it needs to be careful that Prometheus does have quite a bit of firepower. Oh, and here are the Sabos. Not quite an overload. And good vent there. Really good vent. Pretty much this Vulture just completely avoided damage by that vent. Ooh, on this side, this vulture is not doing so well. Ooh, the kite! The kite got the kill. Linked Reapers, 8,000 HE damage impacted that kite. Or impacted that vulture. Ooh, overload. Overload by the Sabopods, and here come the harpoons. The harpoons, they're flying around the Mora. 2 hits, 3 hits, 4 hits. Oh, no kill. No kill. The Lasher survived. Is that thanks to that reinforced hull mods? Or the reinforced hull? I think it is. So, Capitals are starting to get close to engaging. Ooh, the Gungnir Cannon. Gungnir Cannon, with its very long range, is impacting. And, oh, the Enforcer's in the way. But the Gauss Cannons had raised the flux on this ship to very high levels. Yep, there goes that Gauss shot. Ooh, Gauss shot for the Overload. Is there going to be any follow-up? Do I see any missile barrage? Some harpoons, but they were fired really late and it's really long range. Are they going to make it? Ooh, they are going to make it. And then there's the Perdition Wings. Not quite a kill, but very close. The high per-shot damage of the Gauss Cannon made that a very long overload. On this side, we have a duel between the Punisher and the Vulture. It looks like, oh, the Punisher was winning. Punisher was winning, but then the Sabos for the overload. Hornets are coming in. Hornets fired by the Hecates. Are they going to get there in time? Yes, yes, they... Oh, it's at the very... Most of them made it. Some of them at the extreme range bounced off. On this side, we have more long-range duels taking place. There go those harpoons trying to get the finish. The flat cannons and... Yes, no impacts. But those Gauss cannons, super long range, this Prometheus has no answer. It just has to take them until it overloads, and then one more volley gets the kill. This is actually one of my favorite loadouts. I love Gauss cannons on the Legion. It's a really solid, great Legion build. Oh, and that was a double kill. Hecate was too close. All right, this kite is still alive after its marvelous vulture kill, and it's kiting the archer. The Mora is moving up. Oh, look at this. I hope this survives. This deserves to survive. Look at that hull. It fires off its sabos. Oh, it's gotten the shields are all the way up. The shields, oh, but it's overloaded. No, get out of there. Get out of there. You'll be missed, Strong Lasher. It almost got a good kill there. Oh, Vulture down on this side. Yeah, it just got frigated to death, it looks like. Here we have a solid battle line going. We have long-range Enforcer, that Gauss cannons on a Capital for extreme range, and then the Gungnir cannon. So these two ships together, really are working incredibly well together with that kinetic plus HE super long-range combo. Let's see, so red team has been split, but they're still holding on for now. I'd say they're losing, but it's not over yet. Here comes another Lasher. Lasher fires off. Oh, the Lasher, dual overload. They both overloaded each other. Here come the missiles from the Drover and the Hornets from the Hecate. Yep, that's a kill. So Lasher overloaded and then killed by the HE follow-up. Ooh, overload, double overload there. Gungnir cannon. Enforcer is burn driving in to take advantage of it. It's a little low DPS, but it does have those Annihilator rockets. I think this is pretty much over. This Vulture just can't stand up to the long-range bombardment. The Legion isn't even... Ah, the Legion's fighting on this side. All right. Those Gauss cannons, taking out fighters. It looks like the Salamanders did manage to take out the engines of that Vulture. Ooh, this Archer is just getting swarmed. Oh, there's the Locust. This Gungnir's been doing a lot of work. There's another overload from the Gungnir. And there's the Salamanders for the engine kill, a couple perditions hitting. Not much missile follow-up, but just slowly bringing the enemy down. This kite is kiting. This kite has spent both its Reapers. I think... Does it have a single gun? Yes, it does. I want that kite to survive. It did great. Oh, there's the perditions for the kill. So it looks like, is all that's left? Yes, all that's left is this Drover and one Hecate. This has been a really fun fight, but I think it is over. Just waiting for one more heavy strike should do the job. Yep, and Enforcer gets the kill with its long-range firepower. There are those broadswords from the Legion. Ooh, a light frigate like this just can't take broadswords swarming it. Too many fighters. Too many fighters. And that'll do it. So this kite landed both its Reapers. Alright, there we go. A nice fun fight that ends in a total victory. Next up is Your Mojo Fly versus PB. Is Your Mojo Fly is fighting with Tang, angry, and unfriendly spaceships. Let's take a look at them. So we have the new variant class Vulture with 2 assault chain guns, heavy blaster, safety overrides. So this is going to fly up to the enemies and hit hard with 2 Sabopods for the overload. We're really seeing a pattern with these 2 Sabopods on a lot of ships, aren't we? 1, 2, 3, 4 SO Vultures and a SO Heavy Armor Punisher, another new variant. This has assault chain guns and a heavy needler with a Sabopod to back it up. Now, it doesn't have a ring of PD, so it'll be a little vulnerable to fighter strikes. 2 of these Punishers. Next up is Hammerhead. This is a SO Hammerhead with assault chain guns and Reapers. Let's see, are these Reapers linked? These Reapers are linked. Okay, so this is another linked Reapers. Oh, no, they're in separate weapon groups. Never mind. Unlinked Reapers. So, just 4K each. My bad about that. And bunch of vents, some caps. If this gets close to an unshielded enemy, it'll really tear it up. We have the Snoop Ion class Drover. Ooh, 2 claws and 4 ion torpedo racks. No ballistics, solar shielding for energy protection, and expanded deck crew. Yeah, let me just do a quick reset. Quick reset. I don't think I've been doing anything bad, but just in case. Yeah, these are all the same. Next up, we have another 2 SO Hammerheads. So, Vultures. A lot of SO with some ion support. Fighting them is PB with the great, acceptable, excellently acceptable, favorable, marvelous, positively and satisfyingly satisfying, superb, valuable, wonderful Reach fleet? Does that say Reach? Wonderful something fleet. Anyhow, it is anchored by a... Oh, we're going for memes! Piranhas! It's a 6 Piranha Astral. So this is really... I would have not liked this, but I saw some videos of the sheer carpet bomb that this can put down. It was killing capitals and stations. Unfortunately, it's up against an all-SO fleet, so we'll see if these can actually catch anything. If they can, it'll be a slaughter. Let's see, what else is on this Astral? Ooh, 3 ion beams for the overloading, 2 gravitons, 2 squalls for shield support, and expanded deck crew. Next, we have the Vindicator, with Gungnir that we saw so well last match, Cyclone Reaper Launcher for that HE spike, 4 ion torpedo racks, and dual flak cannons and Vulcans for defense and expanded missile racks. We have 1, 2, 3 of those, 3 Vindicators. Next up is a Vanguard with some hammers and a Mjolnir cannon as its main gun and a little bit of point defense. Now, this is the shield bypass one, yes. Shield bypass, safety overrides, heavy armor. We'll see how that shield bypass does. We have some Brawlers. I'm going to call these Brawlers, class Brawlers, with Hype HVD Heavy Mauler combo and an ITU. So this will be able to stand off at 1100 range and just poke enemies to death. And 1, 2, 3 of these. So we have a mixture of long range, short range, and carpet bombing. All right, let's see how Is Your Mojo Fly does against PB. So, burning in from the south, vultures, punishers, hammers, with ion support. Coming from the north, we have Astral in formation with the Windicator Vindicators, and the shield bypass ship charging ahead. I hope that doesn't meet the enemy alone. I think that might meet the enemy alone. Oh, there's the Punisher coming up. The Punisher's about to get in range of those Gungnir's. Why haven't the Gungnir's fired yet? Are the Gungnir's not firing because this is in the way? Huh. I would have expected a lot more fire. There we go. Not sure what it was shooting at, but there it goes. Oh, carpet bombing! Oh, hey! They got a couple hits on the back of this. The engines are in trouble here. Ooh, this Punisher might really be in trouble. Here's another ion. Ooh, piranhas! Piranhas for the kill on the Punisher. So once it lost its engine, that carpet bombing really, really took effect. Alright, ion torpedo. Not sure where that ion torpedo is going. The Astral's under threat, but it looks like this brawler actually did manage to push the hammerheads away from the vulnerable carrier. Now where are these bombers going? These bombers are going down here somewhere, but I want to see what happens up here. We have shield bypass versus SO. Ooh, a couple harpoon hits, and there is the ion torpedo. The ion torpedo just crippled this ship. I think this is going to be a kill. Is this flux trouble here? I'm not sure why it stopped firing for a little bit. Yep, there's the kill. Now what's happening on this side of the battlefield? Ooh, Windicator. A Windicator is overloaded, and it got 2 Reapers. Oh, 2 Reapers, and then its death explosion overloaded the other Vindicator. Oh, that is a big turnaround. That double kill right there. Oh, those Vindicators are expensive. All right. They did not hold up very well at all. Let's see, the shield bypass ship is doing pretty well, but it's just not long for this world. Yes, taken out by machine gun drones. Let's see, how is this Astral going to do with being pressed like this? Its flux levels are rising. Flux levels are actually rising pretty quickly. It doesn't have any hard flux weapons. Yes, its shields are down. It's taking that assault chain gun fire. Astrals are not tough. Unless something comes along to rescue it, it is going to die in short order. Oh, and here's another 2 assault chain guns. Yes, there goes the Astral. I think this is it. A very strong beginning. But then those 2 Vindicators just got rushed and dead. Yes. Cyclone Reaper is a strong weapon, but it's low DPS, and I think it just folded. Oh no, and the bombs! The bombs were on this ship's side. The Cyclone Reaper was just recharging that whole time. It couldn't get a firing solution. Ooh, and there's the overload from those Sabos. That is going to be it. Heavy blaster, assault chain guns. There we go. That is it. All enemies defeated. So early on, several kills for PB. But in the end, Is Your Mojo Fly will advance to the next round with their 10 angry and unfriendly spaceships. Next up, we have Draw versus Silver. Now let's see. Draw is using a victory. All right, we have 4. Let me just do a quick reset. I just want to make sure. I don't want to get this wrong. All right, yes, 4 HVDs, heavy needlers in front, the built-in HE cannons. Ooh, a lot of ion cannons in the front. This is going to do quite a lot of ion damage. That should disable anything that shields go down. We have 4 Sabo pods in the back for the overloads, some burst PD, and Devastator. So it looks like we have the guns on the back are PD, with Sabos for the overload, and then the kinetic HE ion combo up front. ITU, resistant flux conduits, advanced turret gyros, gunnery control AI, maxed fence, and 1 cap. We have a Venture! Let's see, that is the flagship class, flagship variant. Next we have the Convoy. The Convoy has 2 harpoon pods, 2 Sabo racks, some flat cannons, and heavy burst laser for point defense, heavy armor, expanded missile racks, and ECCM package, and no vents or caps, but then again, its weapons don't use much vents either. So, yes, we have a brick. We have a missile-spewing brick. We have some escort destroyers set up for long range. With ITU, hardened shields, and hardened subsystems, HVD, and heavy mauler, this is going to bombard at 1200 range. Sabos in case anything gets close, some point defense, and some light mortars for anti-fighter, perhaps? Some light mortars for HE damage. 16 vents, 4 caps. 1, 2, 3, 4 of those hammerheads. We have, keeping up with the Convoy theme, we have a mule. This mule has harpoon and sabo, so more missile support, and it also has converted hanger broadsword to get more fighters. We have ECCM package and expanded missile racks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mules, and the mascot, the Convoy drone, the Shepherd drone tender, with hardened subsystems and nav relay, and it'll also help this fleet with its surveying needs. Up against them is Silver with I have no expectations. And, aha, I think this is the last time, the same fleet as last time, but I'll still go over them. We have an Aurora, the big long-range tickler cruiser, with beams, beams, and more beams, with ITU and advanced optics. So this is going to be, oh, let's see, 1500 range, I think? Let's see, 1400 plus 200, this is going to be 1600 range. 1600 range Tickle class cruiser. And another. And another. We have the Tickle Plus, featuring its ion beam grav and tactical laser combo. Again, long range. 2 of those, and then the regular Tickle. The regular Tickle has 2 gravitons instead of graviton ion. So, 3 tickling Auroras and 5 tickling Medusas versus the Convoy, led by a Victory. Coming up from the south, Victory leading its fleet. Will it lead it to victory? Stay tuned. Sorry, I'm not sure what I was channeling there. And from the north, we have the Ticklers. Round Ticklers and long Ticklers. And a little bit of friendly fire there. Don't do that. That is one thing I don't like about the Medusa AI. It uses its system for travel, and then it doesn't have enough charges left for combat. Ooh, look at this! Look at this flux building up! That is so much concentrated beam fire. Ooh, that hammerhead does not like it. It needs to back off. However, it did manage to back off with relatively little damage. On this side, we have Aurora versus Mule. That rarely ends well for the Mule. We're all waiting for this Victory to enter the fight. Alright, the Victory has engaged an Aurora. It uses its system to burn in close, negating the range advantage. Ooh, this is a lot of firepower. Those heavy needlers and assault guns. Ooh, yeah. That is more than capable enough to beat back a single Tickler or Aurora. It's going to have a hard time catching it. Victories are slow, but it's certainly not going to lose to one in a head-to-head fight. How's the rest going? Let's see. This hammerhead is... It's trying to kite, but it's running into problems because the Medusa is so much faster, but it is moving in to engage. On this side, interesting. So this this Aurora has been kind of pushed into a corner with its Medusa ally and separated from the rest of the fleet. That Hammerhead needs to move in. I don't know why it's backing off like that. Well. Ooh, this mule has been disabled. Let's get back to the Victory and see what it's doing. Victory appears to have pushed away all of its enemies and is lumbering up to fight more. Using its ship system, it charges in. Long-range HVDs and needler fire does runs up the shields quite a bit. Oh, ooh, that is a lot of damage. Managed to get away though. The Aurora is coming back in. This time the Victory is actually supported by a destroyer. I wonder if that'll make the difference. Oh, an overload! The heavy needlers got the overload. And that was all it took. One overload, and then the HE main guns just finished the job. Looks like a mule class is in trouble somewhere. Let's check this lower fight. Yes, this Aurora has enough beams to punish the mule. It's not doing very well at all, but it has backed off to fight another day. On this side, we have one Hammerhead versus two Medusas. No, two Hammerheads versus two Medusas. This long-range duel continues. The flux is building up on this Hammerhead, but it's soft flux, while the Medusa has hard flux, so that's going to take a while. Let's go back to the Victory. The Victory is slowly but surely chasing down its enemies. Oh, mule down. Mule was finally beamed out. Ooh, here's some sabos. A few impacts, but nothing decisive. Victory burns in, uses its HVDs. Yep. I suspect we will get to timeout. This is very standoff, long range. The high-tech ships can just dart in and dart out. I'm not sure how long timeout is actually. I have to look at the game files to see exactly how long it is. Flux building up, but unfortunately the Aurora has maneuvered such that the Venture is in the way. Mule army, backed up by a Hammerhead, is slowly pushing this Medusa back. Its flux is actually very high, but none of its pursuers are really fast enough to catch up. Long-range duels happening. Looks like, yes, this Aurora has been pushed to the map edge. It has nowhere else to run. It's fluxed out, and it's facing the full wrath of a Victory. The ion cannons have disabled its guns. Yes, this... Ooh, there goes the sabos. A lot of sabos. And that's a dead Aurora. All right, a lot of one-on-one, long-range, low-damage duels happening. Let's keep an eye out for some action. Oh, looks like there's a Sabo barrage down there. Wolf and Hammerhead are moving in for the kill. Excuse me, Mule and Hammerhead are moving in for the kill. But the Medusa is just plain faster than them. It hits at low flux. So that is, other than things sneaking through the shield, this is really not going to go anywhere until it's pushed against the map edge. Let's see. Question of how I zoom out so far. It's part of the AI battles mod. It's also something that happens if you turn on dev mode. And you can actually change in the settings. You can change the min and max zoom out, but I don't really like fighting at far zoom. Not only does it hurt the frame rate quite a lot, but you can't see the beautiful spaceships. I love the beautiful spaceships. Alright, this Medusa has been sandwiched between two hammerheads. Not much room to run. Yes, this Medusa has met the end of its days. Let's see, are the drones going to get the kill? I would love for the drones to get the kill. Nope, Hammerhead got the kill. Now, I think this battle is pretty much over, so I am going to speed things up. Yes, there we go, 4x speed. So, a long and drawn-out tactical fight where the ballistic firepower of the convoy was able to overcome the beam spam of I have no expectations. Next up is SCC versus HG Scout. Let's take a look at SCC's fleet. We have 2 drovers with the Falx Super Interceptor with ship and weapon pack, and some harpoons for finishing and Vulcans for point defense. 2 of these, bringing interceptors and missiles. Those are annoyance carriers. Next we have strike carriers with 2 perditions and a broadsword. Just to make sure. Yes, 2 perditions and a broadsword. ITU to back up the HVD, so that'll be a good 1400 range on that HVD. And some point defense. 2 Buffalo Mark IIs. Yes, Revengeance class BM2s. With 2 salamanders, a harpoon pod, and a harpoon rack, backed up by the missile boosters, and an ECM package, which is going to give 3% ECM rating to this fleet. 2 of those. And the Annoyance Doom. The Annoyance Doom has 4 light needlers for the burst anti-shields, salamanders to pin the enemy in place, ions for the disable, some point defense and ITU, and of course, it's Mine Strike, so any disabled ship is going to get mined in the engines and not be able to run away. We have some ramming enforcers, the bowling balls of death, with 4 Sabos, short-range HMGs and assault chain guns for that kinetic HE combo, 2 dual flaks for quite strong point defense, safety overrides for speed and flux, and an automated repair unit, so if it gets hit by ion, it'll come back online 50% faster. Another 2 Revengeance, another 2 ramming enforcers, another 2 Revengeance, and another 2 ramming. So, Buffalo Mark IIs, SO enforcers, some carriers, and the Doom. And they are fighting HG Scouts Bounty Hunters. These Bounty Hunters are anchored by a Paragon burst battleship. This Paragon has 4 auto pulses. This is our first time seeing a Paragon without tachyon lances. 4 auto pulses. And does it have it? Yes, there's the expanded magazine. So each of these is going to be able to lay down 45 shots. So this is a ton of alpha DPS. We have 4 salamanders for knocking out engines, the obligatory 2 heavy needlers for kinetic damage, and it looks like a ring of point defense featuring mini blasters and mini blaster arrays from ship and weapon back, and some burst PD lasers. For hull mods, we have advanced turret gyros, expanded magazines, flux distributor, hardened shields, IPD AI, and stabilized shields, with 50 vents and 28 caps. We have the Thunder Drovers, with 2 Thunders, and, yes, I remember this, 4 flare guns plus IPD AI. Very interesting. And 1, 2, 3 of those Drovers. Next up, we have Line Hammerheads, with IPD AI and ITU, and the kinetic HE combo of heavy autocannons backed by light assault guns. And it has some flare guns. 2, 3, and maxed vents, nearly maxed caps. And we have some Defense Tempests, with a pulse laser for hard flux damage, another flare gun. So this is a very flare gun heavy fleet, heavy burst laser for point defense, ITU hardened subsystem, and of course, its drone. 3 of these. So, fleet anchor, carrier support, line hammerheads, and flankers. Let's see how this battle goes. STC versus HG Scout. Phase Doom. Not really popping ahead. Maybe if it feels like it. The battle line is condensing down as it goes towards the capture points. I hope these Buffalo Mark IIs fall back. Facing them from the north, Tempests have gone ahead. Paragon is pushing the Drover along. And it looks like, yep, the Drovers are getting behind the Hammerheads, hopefully to form a battle line, and the Paragon's bringing up the rear. SO Enforcer comes barreling ahead with its burn drive. Ooh, but it's going to run into an entire cloud of thunders. It does have the repair system, so it should come back on faster. Yes, it came back online actually quite quickly. There are those mines. Those mines are going to wreak havoc with massed fighters. Oh, Buffalo Mark II. Buffalo Mark II, don't lead the way. The Paragon is nearly in range. We will be able to see the matchup that everyone always wants to know. Can a Paragon beat a Buffalo Mark II? On this side, the SO Enforcer is getting actually pushed back by the line Hammerhead with support from a Tempest. It's just taking a little bit too much damage. Oh, but there's the overload. The Buffalo Mark II with its fire support. But not a single missile made it through. Between the heavy burst PD on the Tempest and the Tempest drones, those missiles were stopped. Oh, Buffalo Mark II falls to the Paragon. It has pushed back another Enforcer. These line Hammerheads are doing exceptionally well fighting SO ships. I'm actually very impressed. I mean, they have a little bit of help. You know, 2 Tempests and Thunders. On this side, however, I think this ship without support is just going to get crushed. But I noticed that these Enforcers are not pressing the advantage. They're backing off a lot. I wonder if their personality is aggressive instead of reckless. Let's see. Oh, there goes the overload, and then the Buffalo Mark IIs with the kill. Oh, and another overload from the Sabos. And again, Buffalo Mark II harpoons and assault chain gun. So that is a collapse of this flank, simply outnumbered and outmissiled. The Doom really hasn't been doing that much this fight. I'm a little surprised. It just hasn't been engaging. Here comes that burst. Oh, the burst got the overload. But it doesn't... Yeah, it's just not... once it spends its burst, it's just not very much firepower. Ah, apparently the Doom has been killing fighters with its mine. That is fair enough. It is very good at that. And there are a lot of Thunders in the enemy fleet. So far, these Buffalo Mark IIs, really, I've only seen one loss. There's some damage from the Paragon, but nothing definitive, and a mine has impacted the back of this Hammerhead. Ooh. Oh, a fight. You do not want to be up close like that. Yes, the Doom just annihilates the Drover with its burst of kinetic damage, followed by mines. Oh, here we go. This is what this is supposed to do. All four auto pulses just bursting down and killing a ship very quickly. Let's see, the point defense. Hey, those flares have saved this Hammerhead from quite, maybe 2. It saved it from a few missiles. The ion beams, yes, the ion beams from the Doom have knocked out the engines, and that's all it took. Once the engines were down, that Tempest could not survive those mines. However, the mines also impacted this Enforcer and has left it with very little hull. One good burst will kill it. And yes, there's the kill. Let's see, so this Paragon is still standing strong. We'll see if it can survive. There's not that many ships on red team left. Now, down here we have something interesting. We have a Hammerhead fighting 3 Buffalo Mark IIs. I wonder what the issue is. It really should be able to... Is it too slow? Is it unable to catch these Buffalo Mark IIs? The tactical laser means that it must have its shields up, so it doesn't get a 0 flux bonus. Oh, it's closing now. Yeah, it's a Hammerhead. It really should be able to deal with these. I noticed that the CR on these Buffaloes is also going down. Back up to the Paragon. Paragon is still undamaged, and via sheer mass seems to have protected this Hammerhead. Yeah, the CR is starting to become a problem, both for the Buffaloes and the Enforcers. I'm not sure if this fleet has the power to break through a Paragon. It takes a lot of... You have to keep pressuring a Paragon. You can't let it rest. And it looks like the Mini Blasters and Burst PD are actually enough to kill the mines. Ooh, here goes this Enforcer. This might be this Enforcer's last chance at getting a kill, because it only has 23% CR. And, ooh, there's the Mind Strike. Mind Strike did get a hit there. I think this Enforcer got beaten back by the... I don't think this is reckless AI. I think this is aggressive AI, and it's just not closing aggressively enough to get the kill. It should be able to get a kill on a Hammerhead. Now, the Doom with its time accelerator system... Well, sorry, not time accelerator. Its phase space system, which acts as time accelerator, you can just watch its CR go down and down. I don't think it's going to be able to kill a Paragon. I just don't think it has it in it. It doesn't have the firepower. How is this Hammerhead doing down here? The Hammerhead down here is still chasing Buffaloes. Alright. Oh, and Buffalo down. Up on the main fight, the CR just keeps dropping. Oh, event right in front. There's that burst. Yes, the PD is sufficient to kill mines most of the time. CR is going down. I think this Paragon wins on its own. A very strong start for this fleet, but it just couldn't get the kills fast enough before it ran into CR problems. I suspect part of the problem is just not enough reckless AI, but I'd have to check the files to be sure. I could be totally wrong. Yep, that's 0% CR. The Paragon is just going to mosey over and eventually fire, although not firing yet. Oh, I see. Oh, that's a lot of damage. Yep, so we have the classic scenario. An SO fleet gets the early advantage, but just doesn't have the staying power, doesn't quite have the staying power and firepower to get through the defensive anvil that is a Paragon. So unfortunately, I don't really see this fight going any way. There's the timeout, so now Reckless is completely on. Yes. So here is this line Hammerhead, just doing its long-range bombardment with heavy autocannons, Tempest backing it up, and that's a kill. Let's see, we have some Perditions, but Paragons are mostly immune to strike fighters as long as their shield is up. The Fortress shield is just too powerful. It can even take Sabos. Oh, and this poor Enforcer had a good run, but the safety overrides. All right, this is only going to end one way, so I am going to speed things up. Oh, down here we have a fight. This is a bit of a fight. It is a low CR Hammerhead versus a Heron, but the Heron is launching its fighters at the Paragon. Yeah, there goes the Thunders for the disable. So this Hammerhead is going to be able to get the kill. Maybe not before the Paragon catches up, but it's not going to die. Yep, And there we have it. Not a clean victory, quite a few losses for the bounty hunters, but in the end, CR and a Paragon win the day. Okay. And that is it. That is the last fight of the night. Thank you everyone for dropping by. Let me just check the, yep. That is every fight. Thanks everyone for dropping by. Now I do have an announcement. The next episode will be on this Thursday at same time my channel, but the episode after that, round 5, is going to be presented by Nemo. Let's see. Asian Power says no cage matches, so no one like committed to cage matches. I would love to have cage matches. If anyone has a grudge going and they want to challenge someone to a cage match, I will happily stream it. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. It was a great time. Tune in next time, and then tune into Nemo's channel, because he's awesome. Yes, we'll see. Next time, we'll see the return of Vera's fleet. Yeah. Okay. Good night, everyone. Goodbye.